My girlfriend screamed. "You have no right to interfere in my life." She said this right after canceling our weekend plans and deciding to go on a trip with her friends instead. I replied calmly, "You're absolutely right." 3 days later, when she came back home and saw what was missing, she froze in place, didn't say a word, just sat down and started trembling. Dear friends, please help me complete my subscribers. Support me by subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and sharing it. Thank you. I'm 29, and I thought I had everything figured out. Been with Rachel for 4 years, living together for 2. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, hit it off over terrible karaoke and cheap wine, and somehow turned that into what I believed was a solid relationship. We weren't perfect, but who is? We had our routines, our inside jokes, our plans for the future. At least, I thought we did. The problem started around 6 months ago, but I was too stupid to see them for what they were. Rachel started going out more with her friends, which was fine. I'm not that guy who needs to monitor every move. She'd been spending time with her college roommate Amber and a few other women I'd met maybe twice. Girls' nights, she called them. Wine bars, escape rooms, that new sushi place downtown. I encouraged it, actually. Told her it was healthy to have her own social life. Then the weekend trip started. First one was in July, a beach house rental, 3 days, just the girls. She came back tan and distant, scrolling through her phone with a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. I asked how it went, and she gave me the highlights in that distracted way people do when they're already thinking about something else. It was great, babe. Really needed that. Cool. Fine. I went back to watching the game. August brought another trip. September, 2 more. By October, I started noticing other things. She'd angled her phone away when texting. Started doing her makeup differently. Not for me, apparently, since she'd barely glance my way before heading out. Our sex life had gone from regular to rare to practically non-existent. When I tried to talk about it, she'd get defensive. "I'm just tired. Work's been stressful. Not everything is about you." That last one stung because she said it like I was being unreasonable for wanting to connect with my own girlfriend. The real breaking point came 2 weeks ago. We'd planned this weekend trip to this cabin upstate, booked it months in advance, my treat, supposed to be our chance to reconnect. I'd requested the time off work, mapped out hiking trails, even packed a picnic basket like some kind of romance novel protagonist. Thursday night, I mentioned something about leaving early Saturday morning to beat traffic. Rachel was on the couch, phone in hand as usual. She didn't even look up. "Oh, about that," she said, voice casual as if she was commenting on the weather. "I'm not going." I stopped mid-step. "What?" "Amber's organizing a girls' trip to the Poconos. Same weekend." I already said yes. The way she said it, so matter-of-fact, like my feelings were an afterthought at best. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "Rachel, we planned this months ago. I took time off. The cabin's paid for." She finally looked up, and there was this flash of annoyance in her eyes. "You can get a refund. Or go by yourself." "I don't know. Are you serious right now?" "What?" She stood up, phone clutched in her hand. "You expect me to just never do anything with my friends? To always be available for whatever you want? That's not what I'm saying. You have no right to interfere in my life." Her voice went sharp, louder than necessary for our small apartment. "I'm going on this trip." End of discussion. I stood there, looking at this woman I'd built a life with, and I felt something shift. Not anger, not yet. Something quieter and more final. "You're absolutely right," I said. She blinked, clearly surprised I wasn't fighting. "Good. Then we're done here." I watched her walk to the bedroom and close the door. I stood in our living room. Our living room that I paid 70% of the rent for, filled with furniture I'd mostly bought, and I made a decision. See, here's what Rachel didn't know. I'm good with money. Always have been. While she spent her paychecks on clothes and brunches and girls' trips, I'd been saving, investing, planning for our future. The apartment was in my name because her credit was garbage when we moved in together. The car she drove? I was on the title and made the payments because she'd maxed out her loan capacity on student debt she'd never mentioned until we got serious. The nice TV, the sound system, the expensive coffee maker she used every morning, all mine. For 2 years, I'd been subsidizing her lifestyle while she earned decent money at her marketing job. Money that apparently went toward an increasingly active social life that didn't include me. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at my laptop and I planned. Update 1. Saturday morning, Rachel left at 7 a.m. Came out of the bedroom with a suitcase I didn't recognize. New. Expensive looking. She was wearing an outfit I'd never seen. Hair professionally done, even though she claimed this was just a casual trip with the girls. See you Monday, she said, barely making eye contact. Have fun, I replied. The door closed. I counted to 60, checked the window to make sure her Uber was gone, then I got to work. First, the car. I called the loan company, explained I needed to retake possession of the vehicle for personal reasons. They directed me to their recovery process. By noon, the car was in a storage lot under my name only, all perfectly legal since I was the primary on the title and she'd never made a single payment. Second, the apartment. I contacted our landlord, who I'd built a good relationship with over 2 years of on-time payments, and explained that Rachel would be moving out. Given that the lease was solely in my name and she wasn't even on it as an authorized occupant, this was straightforward. We'd always meant to add her officially, but never got around to it. Convenient. Third, I started packing. Not my stuff, hers. Every piece of clothing, every shoe, every cosmetic product. I was methodical, almost meditative about it. Her jewelry, her books, her decorative pillows that I'd always hated but tolerated. Into boxes, neatly labeled, stacked by the door. I wasn't cruel about it, didn't damage anything, didn't throw things around. Just removed her presence from the space. The big stuff was trickier. The TV, the sound system, the coffee maker, the nice kitchen knives, the console table she thought was ours. I had receipts for everything. Took photos of the receipts next to each item, just to document. Then I called my buddy Connor, who has a truck. You breaking up? He asked when he arrived and saw the boxes. Something like that. Need help moving her stuff? Need help moving my stuff, I corrected. To a storage unit. Temporarily. He gave me a look, but didn't push. That's why Connor's a good friend. We loaded up everything of value, everything that was actually mine, and put it in a 10 by 10 storage unit across town. The apartment, when we finished, looked drastically different. Still had the couch, the dining table, basic furniture. But it was sparse. Empty in a way that would be immediately noticeable. I spent Saturday night on the couch, eating takeout, feeling strangely calm. Sunday, I got Rachel's number changed through our phone provider. We had a family plan, under my account, another thing I'd been paying for. Switched her to the cheapest possible plan on a new number. She'd still have service, just wouldn't have her contacts or her old number anymore. Was I being petty? Maybe. Did I care? Not particularly. Sunday afternoon, I did something I'd been avoiding. I went through her credit card statements. I was on 2 of her cards as an authorized user. She'd added me years ago for emergencies and better credit building. I'd never used them, but I had access to the statements. 6 months of girls' trips, restaurants, hotels. But when I looked closer, really examined the charges, things didn't add up. Dinners for 2 at romantic restaurants on nights she'd claimed to be with Amber. Hotel charges in the city where we lived. Why would she need a hotel in our own city? Charges at a men's clothing store. Cologne from Sephora. She'd never bought me cologne. My hands went cold. I pulled up her location history from our shared phone plan. She'd never turned off location sharing, probably forgot it was even on. I scrolled back through the past 6 months, cross-referencing with the dates she'd claimed to be on girls' trips. July beach trip. Her phone pinged from a resort in Atlantic City. But when I Google image searched the resort, I saw it was a couple's destination, known for romantic getaways. Not exactly girls' trip material. August trip. Her phone was in Manhattan, specifically near the financial district, at hotels known for business travel. For 3 days straight. I sat back, feeling sick. Then I did what I should have done months ago. I looked her up on social media from a burner account I created. Her Instagram was private, but Amber's wasn't. I scrolled back through Amber's posts, looking for evidence of these trips. Nothing. No beach photos with Rachel in July. No group shots from the Poconos. In fact, Amber's posts from those weekends showed her at home, at local events, clearly not on any trips. The girls' trips were a lie. All of them. Update 2. Monday morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. Made coffee, using my old, crappy coffee maker since the good one was in storage. Showered, dressed for work, went through my normal routine. I'd taken the day off, but Rachel didn't know that. Her expected return time was around noon. I waited. 12:15, I heard the key in the lock. The door opened. Rachel walked in, suitcase trailing behind her, looking at her phone. She got 3 steps inside before she froze. She looked up, looked around. Her face went through several expressions in quick succession: confusion, disbelief, dawning horror. What? Her voice came out barely a whisper. Where's everything? I was sitting at the dining table, the only piece of furniture left in the living room besides the couch. I'd made the space as stark as possible, even taken down the curtains I'd bought. Hey, I said calmly. How was your trip? What did you do? She dropped the suitcase handle, walking further into the apartment. Where's the TV? Where's everything? My stuff? I moved it. What are you talking about? She spun to face me, and now I could see panic setting in. This is our apartment. That's our stuff. Actually, I said, keeping my voice level, this is my apartment. Lease is in my name only. And that was my stuff. All of it. Bought and paid for by me. You can't just... She pulled out her phone, probably to call someone, then stared at the screen. What the fuck? My phone isn't working right. None of my contacts are here. Oh right. I switched you to a new plan. Should still have service, just a new number. You'll need to re-add your contacts manually. Her face went red. You changed my phone number? Are you insane? It's my phone plan, I said simply. My account, my payment. Just like the car that's no longer in the parking lot. That was mine too. Loan in my name, payments by me. It's in storage now. I watched her process this. Watched her realize the scope of what had happened. She looked around the apartment again, and I could see her calculating, understanding just how much of her daily life had been funded by me. You can't do this, she said, but her voice was shaking now. This is illegal. I live here. You've never been on the lease. I checked with the landlord. You're welcome to your clothes though. I packed everything neatly. Boxes are by the door. She stared at the stack of boxes, maybe 15 of them, containing her entire presence in this apartment. When she looked back at me, there were tears in her eyes, but I felt nothing. Why? She whispered. How was the Poconos? I asked instead of answering. She blinked. What? The girls' trip. To the Poconos. With Amber. How was it? Something flickered across her face. Guilt, recognition, fear. It was fine. That's good, I said. I pulled out my phone, opened up the screenshots I prepared. Funny thing though, I checked the credit card statements. The ones you're an authorized user on, remember? Saw some interesting charges. And Amber's Instagram is public, by the way. She was home this weekend. Posted about a barbecue she hosted on Saturday. Rachel's face went white. So I'm curious. I continued, my voice still calm, still even. Where were you really? Because according to your phone location, which you forgot you shared with me, you were at a hotel in Manhattan. The Peninsula, specifically. Expensive choice. Room service charges for 2 people. That's a pretty luxurious girls' trip. I can explain, can you? I stood up now, and she took a step back. Can you explain the hotel charges in our own city? The romantic dinners for 2? The men's clothing store purchases? The cologne that definitely isn't a brand I wear. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. No words came out. His name's Tyler, right? I'd done more digging last night. Found messages she'd stupidly backed up to a cloud account we shared for photos. Works in finance, which explains the financial district hotels. You've been seeing him for, what, 7 months? Started right around the time you got distant with me. Tears were streaming down her face now. I didn't mean for it to happen. Save it, I said. I don't actually care about the why. I care that you stole from me. I never stole. You lived in my apartment, drove my car, used my phone plan, ate food I bought, and used my money to subsidize a lifestyle that included cheating on me. That's theft. Might not be illegal, but it's theft. She was sobbing now, ugly crying, and I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no anger, just emptiness. I need you out by end of the week, I said. Your stuff is packed. Figure out where you're going. Tyler's place, maybe? Or Amber's, if she even knows what you've been doing. Please, Rachel choked out. Please, we can fix this. I'll end it with him. I don't want to fix this, I said simply. I want you gone. You made it very clear on Thursday that I have no right to interfere in your life. So I'm not. I'm just removing myself from it. And removing my resources, my home, my car, my everything that you've been using while you fucked someone else. She collapsed onto the couch, my couch, and cried harder. I grabbed my jacket. I'll be back Thursday evening. Be gone by then. Take your boxes. Leave your key on the counter. Where am I supposed to go? She wailed. I stopped at the door. You know what? You're absolutely right. I have no right to interfere in your life. So that's your problem to solve. I walked out and didn't look back. Final update. It's been 3 weeks now. Rachel left before Thursday, took about half the boxes and left the rest, which I donated. She's staying with Tyler, apparently. I know because my buddy Connor saw them at a restaurant downtown, and Tyler looked miserable, probably realizing he'd won a prize that came with a lot of baggage and zero financial stability. Rachel tried texting me from her new number. I only know it's her because she identified herself, begging to talk, to explain, to work things out. I blocked it. She showed up at my office once, and I had security escort her out. Her friends have reached out, some angry, some pitying. Amber actually apologized, said she had no idea Rachel had been using her as cover. The apartment is slowly feeling like mine again. I bought new furniture, stuff that's actually my taste instead of compromises. My stuff came out of storage. Got a new girlfriend. I mean, not a girlfriend, just someone I've been seeing. Taking it slow. Rachel's parents called me last week. Apparently she's asking them for money, lots of it, and they wanted to know what happened. I told them the truth, all of it. Her dad was silent for a long time, then thanked me for my honesty and hung up. I don't think she got the money. Some people think I went too far, that I was cruel, that I should have just broken up with her like a normal person. Maybe they're right. But when I look around my apartment, when I drive the car I bought without someone else using it as their personal Uber, when I check my bank account and see money actually accumulating instead of disappearing into someone else's affair, I feel free. She screamed that I had no right to interfere in her life. She was absolutely right. But she also had no right to steal mine while she lived it. Edit 1. For people asking if I felt bad about the phone number thing, I paid for that line for 4 years. She never contributed a dime. I didn't cancel her service. I just removed the number from my account. She has a working phone, just had to rebuild her contacts. Inconvenient? Sure. Illegal? Nope. Edit 2. Tyler found my LinkedIn and sent me a message calling me a psycho. I replied with screenshots of Rachel's messages to me trying to reconcile, timestamped from last week. He stopped messaging. They're apparently still together though. Good luck, buddy. Edit 3. Someone asked what I did about the cabin reservation. I went by myself that following weekend. Hiked alone, ate the picnic alone, had the most peaceful 3 days I'd had in months. Would recommend.